Welcome to this in-depth summary of the Four Tendencies by Gretchen Rubin, a fascinating book that explores how people respond to expectations and how understanding these patterns can improve our lives. Whether it's meeting deadlines, maintaining habits, or navigating relationships, our ability to follow through on commitments is deeply influenced by our personality tendencies. Rubin introduces four distinct tendencies: upholders, questioners, obligers, and rebels, that explain why some people thrive with structure, others resist rules, and some need external accountability to stay motivated. By identifying our own tendency and understanding the tendencies of those around us, we can work more effectively, reduce frustration, and improve communication. If you've ever struggled with motivation, wondered why some people seem naturally disciplined while others rebel against rules, or found it difficult to influence others, this book offers eye-opening insights that will help you navigate both personal and professional relationships. At the core of Rubin's framework is the idea that people respond to two kinds of expectations: outer expectations, which come from others, such as work deadlines or social commitments, and inner expectations, which we place on ourselves, such as personal goals or New Year's resolutions. The way we respond to these expectations determines our tendency. Upholders readily meet both outer and inner expectations. They are disciplined, self-motivated, and thrive on structure. Questioners resist outer expectations unless they believe they make sense, but they meet inner expectations that they have justified logically. Obligers easily meet outer expectations but struggle with inner expectations unless they have external accountability. Rebels resist both outer and inner expectations, valuing freedom and autonomy above all else. Understanding these tendencies helps explain why people behave the way they do. Upholders, for example, are naturally reliable and disciplined. They don't need much external pressure to meet deadlines because they hold themselves accountable. However, they can be rigid and struggle when rules are unclear. They thrive in structured environments but may become frustrated when others fail to follow through. Because they are internally motivated, they often assume that others should be able to self-motivate as well, which can lead to misunderstandings in relationships and workplaces. Questioners, on the other hand, need logical justification for everything they do. They won't follow rules blindly. They need to know why a rule exists before deciding whether to comply. This makes them excellent problem solvers and researchers, as they constantly seek better, more efficient ways to do things. However, their tendency to question everything can frustrate those who prefer quick action. Questioners can also struggle with analysis paralysis, overthinking decisions to the point of inaction. The best way to motivate a questioner is to provide solid reasoning and data to support a request. Obligers are the most common tendency, and they are the people who thrive when they have external accountability. They meet work deadlines, show up for appointments, and are highly dependable, so long as someone else is counting on them. However, they often struggle to meet personal goals because they lack external pressure. For example, an obliger may have no trouble completing tasks at work but will procrastinate on personal projects. They frequently experience burnout because they prioritize others' needs over their own. The key to helping an obliger succeed is to create external accountability, such as a workout partner, a mentor, or public commitments that reinforce their goals. Rebels are the most independent of the tendencies. They resist all forms of expectation, both external and internal, and value freedom, identity, and self-expression. They dislike being told what to do, even by themselves, so traditional motivational strategies rarely work for them. Instead, rebels are driven by a strong sense of identity. If a task aligns with their values, they will commit to it wholeheartedly. However, they may resist even beneficial habits if they feel pressured. The best way to influence a rebel is to give them choices rather than instructions, allowing them to decide how and when to take action. Rubin explains that while we all exhibit traits from different tendencies, one primary tendency shapes our behavior most strongly. Recognizing our own tendency allows us to work with our natural strengths rather than against them. For example, an obliger who struggles with self-motivation can stop feeling guilty and instead create accountability structures to ensure follow-through. A questioner who overthinks decisions can develop strategies to avoid getting stuck in analysis paralysis. An upholder who feels frustrated when others don't meet expectations can learn to be more flexible and patient. A rebel who resists traditional methods of motivation can focus on finding ways to make tasks feel personally meaningful. Another powerful application of the Four Tendencies is improving relationships. Many conflicts arise because people misunderstand each other's tendencies. For example, an obliger may feel resentful toward a questioner who constantly challenges rules, while a questioner may feel frustrated by an upholder who blindly follows instructions. Rebels may struggle in structured environments, leading others to see them as uncooperative when, in reality, they simply need a different approach. Understanding these differences helps reduce frustration and creates more effective communication. Workplace dynamics also improve when tendencies are understood. Managers who recognize that their obliger employees need external accountability can provide regular check-ins to keep them on track. Leaders who understand that questioners need logical explanations can ensure that policies and decisions are well justified. Companies that accommodate rebels' need for autonomy can give them flexible projects where they have control over how they work. Upholders, who are naturally disciplined, can be trusted with independent projects that require self-motivation. Parenting is another area where the Four Tendencies can be transformative. Many parents struggle to motivate their children because they assume that what works for them will work for their kids. However, an upholder parent who thrives on discipline and routine may feel frustrated by a rebel child who resists all structure. A questioner child may need thorough explanations before they accept rules, while an obliger child may need external accountability, such as study groups or tutors, to succeed in school. Recognizing these tendencies allows parents to adjust their approach rather than feeling like they are constantly battling their child's personality. Health and habit formation are also deeply influenced by tendencies. Upholders have no trouble sticking to habits, they decide to exercise daily, and they do it. Questioners need to research and justify why a habit is worthwhile before committing. Obligers often struggle with self-care but succeed when they create accountability, such as signing up for a fitness class with a friend. Rebels, who resist structure, often benefit from making their habits feel like a personal choice rather than a rigid rule. Understanding tendencies also improves motivation strategies. Many people fail to stick with goals because they are using methods that don't align with their natural tendencies. A questioner who tries to follow a strict diet without understanding the science behind it will likely give up. An obliger who tries to work out alone may struggle to stay consistent. A rebel who signs up for a rigid fitness plan may feel restricted and quit. By aligning motivation strategies with our tendencies, we increase our chances of success. Rubin emphasizes that no tendency is inherently better than another. Each has strengths and weaknesses, and success comes from working with, rather than against, our natural inclinations. When we stop judging ourselves and others for behaving differently, we create more harmonious relationships, better work environments, and a deeper sense of self-acceptance. The biggest takeaway from the Four Tendencies is that understanding ourselves and others leads to better communication, increased productivity, and greater personal fulfillment. Whether in relationships, workplaces, or personal growth, recognizing our tendencies allows us to stop fighting our nature and start using it to our advantage. By identifying the strategies that work best for our personality, we can build better habits, create meaningful change, and navigate life with greater ease and success.